What's up? Gonna do another one of my rare updates. Not entirely sure what I even said in the last one. Very unprofessional. But to start with, I have carried on with this wiper linkage setup and made a bracket down here, welded in this panel underneath, made a little channel for the wiper rod to go through, and we have these tubes through here. This is a bit of a mess up. What I should have done is notched it in on the other side, so it was like a nice, like none of this rubbish, but whatever, it's done. Capped off all these like bits and bobs underneath that needed doing. All of that's welded and primered and cure rusted or whatever. Painted the subframe roughly just for like a dry build on the car and to stop it rusting anymore. I will get the subframes powder coated and all the suspension arms powder coated eventually. I think that pretty much wraps up what I've done on the back end. Oh yeah, when I notched out some tyre clearance up under there, I will show you there's a tiny scuff mark there and a tiny scuff on that weld. These welds will be flapped back obviously. And the same on this side, a bit of a scuff on that corner. So basically that means I haven't got enough clearance. I will show you what I've got on full lock at the minute. Right, that's full lock pretty much. And I've got a finger gap or so. So whatever clearance I now need, I will do with a mallet and a block of wood or something. All of this stuff is done underneath here. The tubes. I've welded the cage to the body in some places, but there's a few places I need to do. Like, I think I've done up in the roof up there, but I need to do the roof back here, and I need to do the panel. I'll show you this side. I need to weld in this gap here so the cage is attached to the body back here. And then I also got the tunnel fixings done. So there's fixing there, there, and then there, and then on across the top, and it's the same on the other side as well. This camera does not like to focus. I've got the seat mounted correctly, properly, with some nice seat tubes. You won't be able to see from here, I don't think, that there are actually holes through the tunnel. So you put the bolts in on the other side of the seat. As you can see, there's like no room down there to get an Allen key. Sorry. You can't you focus, you. Take my word for it, you can't get an Allen key down there. So that's done up from inside the tunnel. I've got this pipe. Basically, I've just started like putting bits and bobs in, kind of like a dry build. The rear end at the moment, the shocks are in there. The car sits on its shocks. However, I need to adjust the ride height. I need to raise it by 1.5 inches. I'll get the car up in the air in a day or two and get y'all a better view of this. But yeah, I need to raise the shocks 1.5 inches. So I've just got the jack under it at the minute, so it sits level, which you would have seen at the beginning of the video. That is basically the ride height. It may come down maybe 1 inch. These are not finished yet, but I've basically been working on boxing in these rear shock mounts. I'm actually quite happy with how they've turned out. I just need to finish grinding back some of these welds. They're actually welded both sides, and the inside corner welds all went nicely, and then the outside corner welds like that all come out a bit pooey. I tried to do it a bit cold so that it didn't just blow the weld straight through the panel. I'm not very good at MIG, but I'm getting there. I think that pretty much wraps up where I'm at right now. You may notice that the car is in a different bay, and 32 is outside. The 32 is going to the body shop tomorrow. It's being collected in the morning. So yeah, from now on, I've got to finish up the few jobs on the chassis. I've got my job list still that I'm working from, but at the same time I'm actually putting in some consideration to like turbo manifolds and stuff, so I'll get the engine and box and everything back in the next, probably tomorrow in fact, and then start figuring out that stuff just so I can get my head around it, start making a jig for the manifold, and you know, to position the turbo where I want it, and then I can order up materials and go from there. The handbrake, this is one thing I just want to say before. The handbrake is mounted straight on the floor, which has meant it's actually pretty burly mount. Like, I cannot. I'll bend the lever if I try and pull on the lever. Basically, it's on the floor, so I've had to make this lever itself 6 inches longer. But when sitting in the car, compared to the gear knob, it wants to come down a bit for my preference. So I reckon I can cut at least 2 inches off of it and it'll be about the right height. But also, I think I'm going to put at least an inch worth of spacing underneath this to raise it off the floor, and then I can cut the lever down another inch. It's just I don't want to make it have too much leverage and too much travel. Obviously I've got a 0.625, which gives me the most amount of braking power, but yeah, so obviously this is a 0.625, which gives you the most amount of power, but at the expense of more travel because it's shifting less fluid. So I could put like a 0.8 in there maybe and lose a bit of braking power and lose a bit of travel. And obviously I regain that braking power from how long the lever is. So that's just something to think about. But I think I'd like to keep the 0.625 because it's what I've always used, and I've got at least 2 or 3 spares. And I think I'm just going to cut the lever down 3 inches and put an inch worth of spacing underneath, and then that'll be good. So that is all for now, and hopefully there'll be some more updates soon. One will have to see.